right. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Mater Nation. We are opening the panel. We're going to have some fun. I have an entire list that I forgot to put it on a Word doc for myself, but it is in the video description. But Miss Potts sent $10. And Lucy, you have some explaining to do because what do you want to go harder, please? And please explain in a very cute, adorable voice.
I just want ICE to go as hard as they possibly can go because what they're doing isn't enough, in my opinion. I want more.
The lady wants more. Does anyone disagree with her?
So violating the Constitution's not enough?
Here we go.
They're not
They're not
violating
violating the Constitution.
Really? They're not violating people's due process rights? They're not violating people's search and seizure rights?
No.
What jurisdiction do these drug runners fall into exactly? Like, what due process do you think they're owed?
Wait, what are you talking about something different, Godsant?
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm thinking of the ICE drug, or not the ICE raids, but the.
Does it matter
my
whether
bad.
the criminal is inside the United States or outside the United States, whether they get due process if they're not a citizen?
It changes what that due process may be.
Well, inside the country, you have to abide by the Constitution. Outside of the country, you have to abide by international
Is
treaties.
this that 1 foot wet concept that they just completely debunked recently?
If you have a valid deportation order and they come to get you and you interfere with the federal investigation, you're the one committing a crime, not them.
Yep.
So how would they go harder on that then?
Because it's not enough. Because we need like 1 million a day out.
I think they're doing a pretty good job.
So
I
we
don't
should
think
just
they need to go harder. I think that could result in some big mistakes happening.
Well, I mean,
So you would essentially be all for them just mass rounding up brown people and sorting it out later, right?
We should be at like 40 million.
Did you just
easy
conflate brown
within a
people
year.
with immigrants? Oh my!
No.
no.
Hey, Supreme Court's the one who said that, buddy. Supreme
Throw
Court
it
is the
all
one who
over
said that.
Yeah.
man.
Russians, Ukrainians, and other folks too.
Right.
don't
I
care
literally
what-
don't care what color they are. If they're illegal, they're illegal. I don't care if they're white, brown, pink,
ICE cares what
purple.
color they
Doesn't
are.
matter.
No, they don't.
Doesn't matter what color they are.
Yes, they do.
No, they don't.
Your mama
They
cares
just-
what color they are,
Just won
bro.
a court case about going after people because they look a certain way, man. Come on. They just got a
That doesn't mean that's
okayed racial
exclusively what they're
profiling.
going after. It just means that they don't have their hands tied behind their backs anymore.
Oh, so you
Is it
think they're rolling up
unfortunate- is
into
it
a Home Depot
unfortunate that
parking
the
lot
large
and they're going to go
majority-
after like the white-looking people? Is that what you think's happening?
Should they check their ID?
Maybe they're an Armenian illegal immigrant. That's
Exactly.
what you think's
If they
happening.
Throw them
if
out
they
too.
don't- Right. What does it matter? Illegal doesn't mean color.
Illegal alien isn't a race, effigy.
Right? Not even an ethnicity, bro. Stop it. Calm down. Take your meds.
Well, no, just saying in practice as to what is going on, I would say that you guys are not in line with what is happening on your side because they are
So
going after
you're
ethnicity.
on our side, but we don't know what's happening on our side. You know what's happening on our side because you crack the code. You read all the dog whistles that only you can hear, and you have to tell us about them. I get it.
At least we're on the same page, Squatch.
Right? We are. One of it's as honest, and the other one is gaslighting. I'll leave you to decide which.
Excuse me.
Wow, that just got awkward. All right.
I could go if I need to.
Well,
No.
okay. All right. I'm going to hold this yodel for topic shift. So just know you to start warming up there, Clay. Jason says, Supreme Court recently disagreed with you, Effigy. I think I'll take their word over yours. What do you say to that?
Yeah, they okayed racial profiling, which is what ICE is doing. They wouldn't need racial profiling to be okayed if it wasn't what they were doing. So I'm not sure how what I was just saying was incorrect because ICE is doing it and had to have the Supreme Court okay that they were doing it.
Yeah,
You
not
are
every
saying that
not
pattern
everything that the
recognition
Supreme
is
Court
racist.
not everything that the Supreme Court makes a decision on is a good decision.
No, but
Like-
For example, Roe
absolutely.
v. Wade.
Yeah, I'm not for what they're doing. I'm just saying
Right.
to have some people on the right say that that's not what is occurring.
And I know
It's
you get a hard on against
they wouldn't
Terrier
need
versus
a-
Ohio.
They wouldn't need this ruling to
Or is it
actually
Ohio
be
versus
allowed to do
Terry?
it.
Well, if every Supreme Court ruling was always right every single time, this wouldn't be America. For real.
True that.
I mean, yeah, the Supreme Court can make mistakes.
Well, the
That's
Supreme
why
Court's job
you
is
have the
to
ability to
interpret the law,
overturn-
correct?
Wrong.
It's to interpret constitutional law and
Wrong.
apply it.
That's a self-appointed rulership that they claim, but it's not at all.
Mhm.
Well, hold
So
on.
You're
what
gonna
does
have to
the
explain
Supreme
that.
Court
Hold
do
on.
then?
Like, that's the entire
Because-
judicial branch's purpose.
Clay, you like to interpret the statements all the time. I hear you doing it all the time. I mean, wouldn't you want one group being able to interpret under the same standards all the time and consistent?
Never.
Never. You just want you to be able to interpret it your way, and Sasquatch to be able to interpret it his way, Miss Potts to interpret it her way,
Complete-
Ant to interpret it his way.
Yeah, absolutely. We all have our own interpretations. We all have our own views. This is the reality of things. It does not change just because
That's why we
all
have
of
a
a
court,
sudden you
sir.
put certain people into power.
And this is why we have a
That's
Supreme
I
Court.
also believe that the
That's
Supreme Court
precisely
should
why we
be.
have a Supreme
Hey,
Court.
Clay.
I also believe that
Clay.
the Supreme Court should have term limits.
Clay, what about Duck? Do you want Duck to be able to interpret it his own
He
way?
can have his own interpretation.
Do you think that we should take
But he doesn't
Duck's
have
interpret? Where's Duck anyway? Get Duck up here. Duck needs to come up here and interpret his own way, and we should all abide by Duck's way. I think we should do it.
Not
that
high
way.
enough for this. I'll be
You know
back.
what? I'm going to put Duck in charge of this entire panel, and we're going to run
Amen,
it that
Squatch.
way.
What is wrong with you, Sarah?
I mean, like, here's the thing: the Supreme Court, sure, they have a lot of power, but that doesn't mean that they get it right all the time. And
Actually,
they,
No, but
and it
that's
doesn't
why.
make sense that they
But
would.
that's why we offer reinterpretations, reversals. We offer the ability to double down. That's why the court system does it's the way that it does, because they take what was interpreted and they say, was this? They go based off of historical. They go based off of precedents. They go based off of
Precedent.
what the people when they originally wrote the law and what their intentions were and why, and they take that and they put it together. Now again, they can still offer reversals.
Absolutely.
So, how much power
So-
does the Supreme Court really have when you have states like New York and California constantly defying their decisions?
Well, here's the funny thing. So
It's
on
like
one
no
side, you'll
consequence.
say it's great that the
Oh, that's
Supreme
funny
Court
to
doesn't
mention in the
reverse all of
last
their
few months,
decision.
yeah.
But as soon as Roe versus Wade comes up, oh, it's a
There he
different
is.
story.
I knew we'd get him up here with this kind of topic.
not
Are
a
you muted,
duck.
Ryan?
God.
Well, funny thing about Roe v. Wade, every single one of the Supreme Court justices who have been nominated all said it was settled precedent when they were under their nomination hearings. Funny how it wasn't when they got here.
Man, I'm saying
They also
that.
don't bring court cases up themselves. It was brought to them. So, what's your point?
Right, exactly. That's
Right.
exactly the point. It's the people who bring the cases to them, and then they ask for this or that, whether it's a reversal or to be upheld. And usually, by the way, when you're talking about upheld, we're talking about the state asking for it. So states' rights.
And Ruth Bader Ginsburg warned for decades that the foundation that Roe v. Wade was built on was very shaky legal ground and probably would get overturned and probably should be. So, what's
Yeah,
your
the
point?
Probably
It-
doesn't mean anything when it comes to law. You know, if a cop walks up to you and says, you know, he was probably, well, actually, that's not true because of Terry versus Ohio.
Well, if a Supreme Court justice tells me this is likely to get overturned, I give it some more credit than if just some random person tells me that.
I
yeah,
give
but
more
since the court
credibility to
shifted, right, though, we've seen them upending precedents that have been
Anyway.
around like 100 years, right?
Good. Some of them were like Roe v. Wade was terrible precedent. The Supreme Court should not be creating rights and law out of whole cloth, which is what Roe v. Wade did.
Here we go. Interpretation of the law isn't valid when it comes to Roe v. Wade prior. Oh, look at that. Huh? Imagine that.
There's a difference between creation and interpretation. In the case of Roe versus Wade, it altered the way the states could interact with the individual citizens versus the federal government having control over basic laws.
That's literally the same thing.
All right, let me give a moment for Ryan to do a sound check. Are you with us, Ryan?
Testing.
Yes,
You're
we
good,
got
Ryan.
you.
All right, problem solved.
What you got, bud?
Yeah, bring it.
I don't know. I was gone for a minute, so
Well,
we
what,
just-
what do you
we're
think
talking
about
Go ready.
ICE? The statement from Ms. Potts says ICE should go harder. Should just
I
double
mean, I think
down
it's
on
a
the mass.
kind of a dumb privilege take from someone who thinks they're under threat from illegal immigrants and is stupidly propagandized into believing that immigrants are some bigger threat than they are, and they're cheering on people violating
That's
people's
just
rights
ad
in
hominem
a
right
kind of
out the
disgusting,
gate.
embarrassing way.
Great
I mean,
argument.
I don't care. Like,
according to Ryan, no immigrant is illegal. By the way, Sarah's
I
good
never
point.
said
Ad
that.
hominem out the
why do you-
gate. That's a great debate.
Yeah, I don't care.
Yeah,
You have a dumb
that's-
take. Like, what do you want me to do? I'm not gonna like.
You
get over
argue
it.
for you argue for every far left.
No, you're just
policy and then
assuming
say,
I'm
well,
right,
not
and I'm
far
not.
left. You're
I'm not on
you're
the
just as
right,
bad
but
as
okay.
AOC.
I'm not. I didn't assume anything about you except for that you said something dumb. I didn't assume anything. I just read the words you said and I thought they were dumb. That's it.
It's
But
hyperbolic.
sport talk. What was all the dumb shit you were saying about assigning new
Okay, well, that's
opinions to
fine.
me
You
that I
can
don't
think
have?
they're dumb.
Well,
I do,
you are
thank you.
Arguing,
It
Yeah, you
doesn't
are
make you
arguing to-
right.
I don't
you
even
are
know
arguing
you.
to me that in previous panels that I've been on, you are arguing to me that every Marxist policy is perfectly fine and
What?
there's no
What?
bias in there, and just saying that what ISIS
Keep
is
stopping
doing
that straw man.
is-
You should
Moral and
make a
everything,
YouTube
it's
channel
just-
posting all these clips of me that apparently exist. I
I've got
have no idea
better
what the fuck
I've
you're
got
talking
better
about.
things to do than with my life.
Ryan's famous.
Okay, well, why don't you like provide an example of what you're describing of me speaking, saying there's no issues or there like we should approving all quote unquote Marxist policies? Like what the fuck are you even on about?
Well, sticking with the deportations. Obviously, there are some pretty terrible things which is going on, but you could assign more of the blame to Biden because he literally opened the border up. So the cleanup is never going to be pretty. But
What does open
Just-
what does open the border up mean to you? Can we stop there? What does that mean to you?
Biden's exact words on the campaign trail, he said,
Which ones?
"Surge to the border. They deserve to be heard. That's who we
You
are."
can't
blah, blah,
open
blah.
a border on a
Yeah,
campaign.
he was talking about asylum seekers.
Oh yeah,
That's
well
what
Trump
Trump did
deserved
when
to
he
be
was in
heard.
office the
He
first time is
also-
he changed the rules for
Okay,
asylum,
that's-
and Biden was
that's
just
what-
following the law because that was an actual legislative thing that was passed.
Okay,
Damn,
that's
that's
what he
crazy.
said on the That's what he said on the campaign trail. He also
Yeah, I'm
reversed
telling you
a
what
lot
it
of
meant.
Trump's original policies, like remain in Mexico, which was very effective. So that
Wait, so
answers
getting
your
rid
question.
of just to be clear, getting rid of Remain in Mexico is opening the border?
That's one of them.
He-
Plus, he also said anybody seeking
Asylum seeking
should
is a legal
search the border.
process. It's not illegal immigration.
Except that it's being abused because everybody just claims
Well, that's a
asylum
different
and
argument,
ties
isn't it?
up the legal
Remain-
process so that they can stay there.
Remain in,
Just because
disappear
you're
into the
poor
crowd.
doesn't mean you can come and claim asylum here. You don't get to claim
Exactly.
asylum because you're poor
Yeah,
and
that's
you're
There
what
are
the charter
very
says for
Yeah,
people claiming
Exactly why
asylum.
there are asylum courts that decide
No.
that, which is why over 65% of asylum seekers get sent back. The thing is, we have a backlog
When
of
they
asylum
show
seekers. That's
up-
why they get allowed in.
The problem is they don't show up to their court hearings. They get a
wait,
court date.
where'd you
they
get where'd you
disappear
get
and don't ever show
they
up
don't
again.
show up for their court hearings?
This is well known. I'm not going to go through every fucking news article.
Well, roughly
Why
roughly
not?
what percent do you think show up to their court?
I
hearing?
don't know. It's a lot that don't. But I don't
We'll
have
go,
the
we're
exact
going to do this about 10
statistic
more
right
now. I don't know
minutes
either
and then
one.
we'll switch topics. In the meantime, Jason asks, what percentage of asylum cases are successful?
Under 50%.
Okay.
I think it's closer to like 35, 40, actually.
All right. And then
So
Lumberjack.
as long as we buttress the courts and give them all the stuff that they need to
Mhm.
get through this backlog, most of the people that everyone's complaining about will end up getting booted out anyway.
Okay.
if they show up.
And then Lumberjack says Ryan is being the arbiter of dumb and smart is like letting one's dog drive them to work in the morning and expecting no accident. You are welcome to respond, Ryan.
I would never let my dog drive anyone to work. He would crash. He's very dumb.
He's not that dumb though. We love Umbreon.
I love how just
Well,
like
yeah, we love him,
dumb
but
is
I
now
mean,
you're
he's a-
trying to be the arbiter of
tiny
dumb.
brain.
Or do we love him because he's dumb?
I mean, he's dumb and we love him.
He's adorable.
He is that.
Don't take shots at Umbreon.
I get it. I have the right. Okay, he drives me crazy. I get
I'd
to
like
bully him a
to
little
consider
bit.
this. Umbreon lives with Ryan, and everything he hears comes out of Ryan's mouth. So consider how many wrinkles that dog has removed from his head currently.
Aww.
He also hears my girlfriend talk sometimes.
obstacles.
You know.
Oh, that might give him a good wrinkle or two. Thank you. What's up, brother?
Obstacles, your thoughts on ICE? Should they go harder as Miss Potts made the claim that ICE should go harder?
Yeah, shout outs to Miss Potts. Go hard in the paint. Go hard and never let up. Shout outs to ICE and all the ICE workers, and thank you for your service. I know a guy actually who works for ICE. He's like, man, we've been putting in overtime. So shout outs to him for putting in overtime and making the sacrifice. I know it's something that's not favored. And I'm not a troop. I'm a troop from the Iraq actual campaign, but not from the Vietnam. I remember the Vietnam troops just recently came to Washington, D.C., and they were crying, and it was very emotional for them because when they came back in their era, Americans were spitting on them, calling them baby stuff and, like that. So they never had congratulations. Nobody thanked them for their service ever. And so shout outs to ICE. I know they're going through complications and getting doxxed and all that, but that's what comes with the territory. Other people don't agree with you, so it is what it is, and we're going to fight it out.
So obstacles. You're acknowledging that what they're doing is not popular. I thought Trump had a mandate to do what he's doing with ICE, but you're saying now it's an unpopular thing they're doing.
No, I'm not saying it's unpopular. I'm saying it's unpopular with certain people. Of course, everybody didn't vote for Trump, right? And so he is the president, and people knew what he was going to do when they voted for him, and he won the vote, and that is what it is. Just like if Biden or Harris or whoever they won, they're going to do things, and then people are going to rebel and think it's unpopular at certain
Within
points.
the bounds
So
of the law, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
it's supposed to
he's
be
doing what he's doing.
They've been operating within the
And
law.
then, of course, the
Breaking
other
the
people are going to argue that he's
Enforcing the
breaking
law.
the law. Nobody's going to sit up there and support him from the other side and be like, he's following the law.
Well, what if he is?
Like
What if he is just actually breaking the law? That could happen, right? You that's logically possible. You would acknowledge.
If
Yeah,
it was
what law?
happening, we would acknowledge it.
It's
We
always-
don't believe
What
that's
law is being
happening.
broken?
I didn't ask if he was breaking the law. I asked if it was logically possible for
You
him to be
said he
breaking the
was
law.
breaking the law, and then you asked
I
us
do believe he's breaking the law.
about
Yeah, it's a
whether or
separate
not he
conversation.
could
It's
be.
always
Hold
possible.
on, one at a time, guys. One at a time. Go ahead.
But
Trying to walk
I
through
get Ryan, you don't agree with it. I get it. You think it's breaking the law. Of course. I'm not
Mhm.
I'm not arguing against your point. I'm arguing he's in power and he can execute. And then you'll argue and then you'll have, differences and nuances. And you say, well, I don't think he's doing this right. So we're going to file this in the court. And guess what? You get to file it in the court and it goes up to the court system. So that's how it works. So that's how it works in America.
Well,
But I
assuming
tell
he
you what,
actually
if any
listens to
other
those court
country has
hearings,
issues
right,
with
that's
immigration,
one
they just
issue.
kick people out. They don't have no
issue we have now
due
is
process.
that Trump doesn't care about federal court rulings, right? Like he doesn't listen to them at all. He waits until
That's
Supreme Court
bullshit.
deals with it. He literally doesn't. He doesn't listen to any federal court. He calls them activist judges if they rule against him. He doesn't care, and he waits for it to go to the Supreme Court. And
Still
even then,
complies with the
with
decisions and
even
fights
then,
them on
like with the
appeal.
Kilmar Abrego Garcia situation, he took 3 months to oblige.
Did you turn your volume back up, Ryan? Because I just turned you down and then now it's coming in louder.
He sounds like he has his
Unmute.
compression too high and his noise gate too low, or
Yeah,
too high.
and then now it's
I don't know. I
bouncing.
didn't change anything.
It's like bouncing or something.
So when you talk,
no-
when you're talking with passion, which would be loud, it's clipping on the very front of the sound and then compensating after, and so we're missing like the second syllable. It's making
Yeah.
it difficult to understand.
I
I can
noticed-
follow you because I speak crazy, but
I noticed, Ryan, it clips more when you lean in to your mic. Because when you stay where you are, your mic sounds beautiful. But as soon as you start leaning in, it goes crazy. So
Okay.
maybe don't lean in. Maybe because it's picking
We'll
up
see.
more. I don't know. But I just want to make sure we can hear you. But yeah.
all right, time back in. Go.
Yes, anyway,
Trump
Trump doesn't listen to federal court rulings, is what I was saying. He doesn't care. He calls them activist judges whenever
He
they rule
call them
against
whatever
him.
he wants to. He has freedom of speech like everybody else.
Wasn't
It's
it
not what he
Trump who
calls them.
appointed
The
a lot
point
of
is that he
the
doesn't
judges?
listen to them. He doesn't listen to the rulings.
Yes, he does. He follows every ruling. He challenges.
No, he
them to
doesn't.
the
He
court on
does
appeal.
not. He literally
Yes,
does not. He doesn't care
Yes,
about that.
Where hasn't he?
This was, oh, go ahead.
For example, the National Guard should not be deployed in multiple places that the federal judges had ruled against him deploying them, right?
And then those courts were overruled, right?
Some of them were, but the point is that in the meantime, after those courts had made those rulings, he should not have continued deploying them until the Supreme Court ruled on them, right?
No, not necessarily.
No, because local jurisdictions don't have
No.
any authority over
Absolutely
the federal branch of
Okay,
government.
there's what now you're acknowledging that he doesn't have to listen to them, right? Technically, he can ignore
he-
them, but it's
But he does
precedent
often.
is not right.
He does often, even though he doesn't have to.
One example where he listened.
What? No, name an example where he hasn't.
I don't think he's listened to any court any time the judges ruled against him and he called them activist judges. I think he's ignored all of those.
do you have a specific case in mind? Because I'm not going to sit here and try and read your mind and determine what you're talking about.
Well, I think it would be more interesting if you could show one. You acknowledge that Trump has called federal judges activist judges, right?
Because
Everyone
that's
acknowledges
not
this.
that's not defying the courts. That's just exercising.
I
your
didn't
right
say
to
that calling them
engage.
activist judges was defying the courts. Did I?
You just did.
No.
You were
What
just
I
saying.
said is-
Well, I
No,
asked you for
okay.
cases where he's defying the courts, and he's like, "Well,
Yes.
he calls them these activist judges." I'm like, "So what? That doesn't."
No,
prove
okay.
he's
So to be
defying
clear,
the court.
since you weren't listening, apparently, what I said was anytime that he's calling them activist judges, he is also not listening to their ruling.
Which cases?
I'm telling you, pick one where he called them activist judges. He didn't listen to that.
I
ruling.
don't
guarantee
care
it.
what he called them. I'm talking about.
I'm
what has he
asking if you
actually
care what he
done
called
to
them.
decide them.
I'm telling you, find an example of him calling them activist judges, and I'll show you an example of him not listening to the courts.
Why am I doing your homework?
Yeah.
You're not doing it. You're not. You're just not listening to me.
You
can't
made a
give us support
claim
to
and
it.
you refuse to support it.
I think I am supporting it.
No, you're not. You're just making a claim and then making a claim on top of the claim to say that proves the original claim.
So if I pull up a specific
go
example
find
right
it.
now, you're going to acknowledge it, right?
I'll look at it. I'm not saying I'm going to acknowledge something unseen.
Well, me pulling it up and sending it to you would be you seeing it, right?
Sure.
Okay. Carry on, guys, while I teach these
Ryan,
people.
Ryan, you can complain about how Trump is going about deportation, saying it doesn't look pretty, etc. But the bigger he's got to deport illegals, and
Ryan's
I know
checking
that
into
I know
something.
you're against it, but the bigger blame has to be on Biden. Again, he did say this on the campaign trail. Anybody seeking asylum should surge to the border. That's a direct quote. He also had a vice president who wanted to defund ICE. He was actually worse than him. He reversed Trump's policy, like remain in Mexico, which meant you can't seek asylum if you're in Venezuela. Which, by the way, I hope Trump does get Maduro out of power.
Venezuela?
That's coming up later. So Biden.
Are you even American,
caused
by the
a
way?
lot of-
Fight Sport Talk? You're not American, are you?
I'm not, but I'm pro-America.
Okay, so you have a lot of very strong
Thanks for
feelings
your
about like
support.
who our country should go to war with and stuff, which is very curious. But
Hey, thanks for your support. Thanks for your support. Right.
Respect, brother. Respect, brother. Yeah, Ryan, I'm not in favor of
No
boots on the
respect to
ground.
him.
I wasn't a. Oh, somebody's triggered.
No more
I
foreign
wasn't in
wars.
favor
How
of.
about that?
I wasn't in favor of boots on the ground in Iran,
Yeah,
but
I'm
if
with Clay on
Trump,
this one.
if Trump can bomb Maduro and the
take the
Ayatollah
war.
out of power, that's better for the world. And I know you're against it, but
I don't care what you say. You don't know what's better for the world whenever it comes to America, right? It's America first. I don't want any part of your foreign war machine. I don't want any part of it, bro.
I'll take it. I'm
okay,
an American.
fair.
But
Fair
I
enough.
mean,
I
war
would
should be
just-
at the bottom of list of potential
Pretty good.
solutions.
nah, it
Never
should be at the top. Never should
No.
be at the bottom. Just
You
because
wanna
I
put
said you don't know where it
Werner
needs to be in the
ahead
depth.
of
You don't know the
I gave Ryan-
situation.
Hold on,
Anyway, I gave
listen.
Ryan some food
You
for
want
thought.
us?
This
You
would
want
be
us as Americans to go to war with other people
I'll be right back.
around the world, as,
Good.
as opposed to putting
Yeah.
us first.
Well,
No.
this
Yeah,
just
it
goes
could
to
be
show
put in
that
first.
they never really had any hard beliefs to begin with, right? How long was the MAGA people just sitting there going like, "No wars, no wars. We started no wars." Now you guys are like jumping on the saddle like you were like on it the whole time.
You guys, I
Yeah,
signed
we've-
up for war.
I'm against
It's
every
probably-
time.
Can I pose?
It just shows that you guys have no actual beliefs.
Can I pose this argument?
value.
It sounds good to say no new. It sounds good to say no new wars, but what's the alternative? Should we just let Russia roll over Ukraine? Should we just
Who's
let
got talking to?
Maduro
I'm
do
not
that?
Not
Yeah,
dropping $1
obviously.
trillion into another
Absolutely.
fucking war.
Absolutely. Fuck Russia. Fuck Ukraine. Fuck all them other nations. Look, we got problems right here in this country that we got to deal with. So fuck all them other countries. Absolutely.
Well, okay.
Can we get the immigrants out too?
Listen, I was a
Look,
Ron
my
Paul
British
isolationist
friend
war.
or English friend or whatever you want to call yourself, we don't want part of your foreign wars. It's your war,
Okay,
not
well,
ours.
I'm in New Zealand, so we're not part of any
Okay,
foreign
we don't
wars.
want
But
part of your New
America,
Zealand, Australian isn't even real, bro.
Oh,
New Zealander
That's not-
advocating for a regime change war in Venezuela from the
He's
U.S.
literally
100%
sitting over there
100%,
on Paradise
100%
Island saying
bomb
everyone else
Maduro,
should bomb
bomb-
each other.
Yeah,
It's
literally.
out of
What a
his-
fucking freak.
There it is.
well,
Yep.
I said
Alright.
it, and I'm an American. So there we
okay.
go.
How about this? How about this? If Russia takes over Ukraine and moves into Europe, which is what Putin wants to do,
Not my problem.
well, hold on. It will be.
I'm pro Ukraine.
if
I think we should support
America-
Ukraine, so I'm against Clay there.
You see that? You see that, Clado? You see that? Y'all not on because
I'm
Ryan's
rooting for
for
Ukraine, but
supporting
Clay, if
Ukraine.
I
America,
don't think it's our job to support them. I mean, they,
This is
Clay, if America
How is
loses
us
this-
invading Venezuela not a war of aggression on our part?
have we
Somebody gotta
invaded
watch.
because
Venezuela?
Maduro's been waging aggression in a different way by sending these cartel boats to the waters, and he's been
Cartel.
funneling
Who's
A
gotta
country
watch
that couldn't
the
possibly
TV?
hurt us is somehow threatening us to the point where we have to start like a
Yeah,
war on
through
them.
the cartels, through the drones,
we got a
which
whole
Biden
hemisphere
again
to
allowed
worry
in
about.
Tortured
with
logic.
his
We
open
got
border.
one. We got
But-
one. We don't want
Can't
part of it.
possibly hurt us.
So
Uh,
I have an
Maduro-
example. Oh well, I guess you can read
Let
these.
Let
Yeah.
me do a
If
couple
Maduro
of
gets
super
bombed
chats.
out of
God.
Then I'm gonna switch topic. We're still in the same realm, okay? So the conversation will definitely continue. You guys gave a lot of great topics on the post, so we're gonna move through them, but we're in the same wheelhouse. Thumping Weevil says it's not a panel unless Ryan gets mad. But I love it when Ryan gets mad because he's so passionate about what he believes in, and that's what we believe in here. You're
I'm not
welcome,
even
George.
really mad. I guess kind of tired of having these same conversations over and over with people who never bothered to look into any of these topics ever once. But
That's fair.
I mean, you didn't have to
Jace-
click the link
Woohoo.
and come talk about it if it bothers you so much.
damn right, but I have fun doing this.
He does have fun doing this, and we
All
love
right,
that he
so
has so
then
much
quit your
fun.
bitching.
You're aggressive
No, I'll
for
bitch all I
is
want
what you're
actually.
saying.
So the first example, since Jason says I can't admit I'm wrong on anything, the court overturns all of them. Well, fantastic point. Except for there is a perfect example, and I already brought it up, right, with the deportation of Kilmar Brave Garcia and the people who were deported under the Alien Enemies Act. In that case, not only did Trump break the law by refusing those federal rulings about that and deport them against their deport multiple people, many people, hundreds of people probably, since that court ruled that he should not be doing that. But then the Supreme Court went on to agree that Kilmar Brave Garcia and all these other people were deported with no due process. And Sotomayor wrote in the opinion, the 9-0 Supreme Court ruling, by the way, and I've said this probably 100 times on these panels, by the way. But the direct quote from Sotomayor is that if we follow the precedent that the Trump administration has set now by deporting Kilmar and the rest of these guys, then theoretically they could then go on to deport anyone, including American citizens, with no due process, so long as they do so before a judge can intervene. This is literally Supreme Court opinion on this topic. So again, you have no idea what you're talking about, which is disappointing because
Can you give us
don't
an
seem like a dumb
example
guy,
of the
but-
Americans that have been deported?
Did I say that Americans have been deported?
You just said the Supreme Court Sotomayor is basically saying they can just deport even Americans without due process. How do they do that?
Yeah. Well,
What's the
what they
step
would
for
do. So what Sotomayor said was that if they did what they did with Kilmar and these other people, so what they would do is they would put them on a plane and send them to a foreign
Kilmar's
torture
not a
prison like they
citizen.
did. I didn't say he was a citizen. What they would do is they would put them
Right,
on a
he's not a
plane
citizen.
if they were. Oh my! For fuck's sake! You asked me a question, right? You want me to answer it or not? You asked me how would they deport an American citizen? What they would do is they would put them on a plane and send them to
You're
a foreign
comparing
torture
apples
prison
and
in
oranges.
El
You're
Salvador.
comparing
I'm
the
not. I'm telling
deportation of a
you what the Supreme Court
non-citizen.
said. Why you're so dumb?
Okay.
Interesting.
Are you live, Ryan?
I'm not, but you know what? I should be right.
Oh, see,
I'm dumb,
Ryan
but you
comes
can't
over
give an
here.
example of how they would deport an actual American citizen who can prove they're a citizen.
Because
Okay,
if you
so-
don't have due process, you can't prove you're a fucking citizen.
Yeah, we got it. We got it.
Wouldn't it
Sarah,
be
what was
pretty
the next
easy
one?
as showing your paper? Jason says
If they give you the opportunity, that'd be
wow.
great.
So-
One
Got
case
you.
out of 40. That's
Super
Super
scared of
easy
that.
to have your ID in your back pocket, bro.
So
all
Ryan,
right,
If you don't,
next,
wait,
we're-
you're saying if you don't have your ID, then that justifies sending you to a foreign torture prison?
Sarah's
yes,
talking.
you're-
Yeah, I'm super
I
scared.
believe-
That's gonna happen.
Aren't
Very
you
scared.
obligated to have your
Super
ID
scared.
on you anyways? All right.
I'm
next-
just
Not
saying,
in
if
Florida.
you
We're
should
in the
probably
same
have your ID and your
wheelhouse,
passport
children.
on you, yeah?
We are in the same
Yeah, or else you might
wheelhouse.
get deported to
We're
a
in the
torture
same
prison that we're funded by
wheelhouse.
tax dollars.
Ooh.
All right. We're in the same wheelhouse.
it is-
So you guys can.
Why, we got to bring back asylums, bro.
We're gonna do sad.
Sarah, you're a little quiet.
Am I quiet?
I'm
A
sure
little
she
bit.
meant asylums.
Am I quiet? You should be quiet. I don't talk a lot, but when I do, I have one fucking rule. What is that rule? Ryan's very aware of this rule. Ryan, can you share the rule with the rest of the class?
Yeah, it's the rule I was just breaking, which is talking when Sarah's talking.
Thank you. Please don't break my rule. I love all of you, and I'm happy to have you here. And try not to interrupt each other either, because at the end of the day, we don't hear any of you. So I'm sure whatever you said was great and amazing, but nobody fucking heard it. Okay. All right. I'm done chastising you like children, and let's go back into adult mode and act like adults. Should ICE as an agency under DHS be abolished or significantly defunded under a Democratic admin? Before you answer, sir, Mr. Clay, it is your moment to shine. I hope you've been warming up.
I think
frozen?
Clay's frozen.
I kind of like that even more.
Kind of yes. I mean, it's a good freeze frame.
It is. It's like his
He did it
perfect
on
Clay
purpose.
face.
He's
I mean,
like,
it's
"I know what
resting
she
bitch
said."
face at its height.
Oh goodness, poor Clay. All right. I wonder, is my mic? Is there something wrong with my mic?
No,
No,
it
your
just sounds like
mic's
your
fine.
volume's a little low, but maybe it's just me.
Desktop microphone.
I'm back.
I did turn. Yay! I did turn off echo cancellation. My volume's up all the way on my end, and then even over here, I'm turned up.
Maybe it's just me.
So I don't.
It's a little low.
Let me automatically adjust. Does that sound a little bit better?
Your mic's fine.
Should I go a little bit louder? Is that good? Okay.
Yeah,
Just
you're son.
set on auto. And perfect time for Clay to make his way back to the stage. Let's hear it, sir.
Yodelay, yodelay, yodelay. Sorry.
Wow, that was a weak ending. Absolutely pathetic. Just terrible. Okay. The question again.
Clay never
we're gonna-
expected yodeling to become part of his brand.
It is a part. It's
Don't
part of
think he did either.
Mama's. It's part of
I'm not
Mama's
surprised.
branded.
I'm not surprised.
It's part of the Mama Mater community. All right, Mama says things need to happen, and Jason finances Mama's wishes, and the rest of the community applauds it and laughs. So it's beautiful. Should ICE as an agency under DHS be abolished or significantly defunded or under a Democratic admin? I'm guessing administration. We're going to go around the room. Everyone's going to say yes or no, and then we'll get into the fight. Ant, yes or no?
No.
Clay?
No.
Squatch?
No.
Fight?
New.
Effigy?
Yes, get rid of it.
Ryan?
Wait, can I give more than just a yes?
Just a yes or no, then we'll get into it.
A
A maybe is okay.
mostly yes. Mostly yes.
Okay. Obstacles?
No.
Reese?
No.
Ms. Potts?
Definitely no.
All right, so we got 2 against the rest. So be mindful, their voices are going to be small compared to the rest of yours. So please be mindful of that as they are trying to fight the fight. All right, Ryan, it sounded like you already had something to say. Go ahead, throw it in there.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not necessarily completely attached to like completely dismantling, defunding ICE. Although I mean, I think it might be the right call. I mean, ICE has a long history of like huge issues, but I definitely think that we should have extensive investigations for all the people who are potentially doing human rights abuses right now, and they should be tried and charged. And the reality is that just following orders is not a defense for human rights abuses. So if you are a member of ICE, I encourage you to think about that when you're out there and think about what you're doing. And if and when Democrats get back into power, I think that you should be charged and you should get a fair trial, the thing that you may have refused plenty of other people. But I think we'll see what happens to you. And hopefully, you didn't break any major laws and you survive well,
You want to have some pushback on that?
I'll actually kind of defend Ryan here. Big shocker. I'm not going to shame him for his opinion, because holding people to account, this place government employees are responsible for their actions, that's not the same as defunding. So defunding ICE is as dumb and backwards as wanting to defund the police. Like the police, they should be held accountable if they end up breaking the law, or to use his language, violating people's human rights. So I actually agree with him there, but the idea that ICE should be defunded, first of all, ICE serves a purpose. It's needed because of the idiot who was in the White House just a few months ago, Biden. So ICE is more necessary than ever. They should get funding, but yeah, the human rights should be respected, of course, and I actually agree with him there. But he said that he said mostly yes, he agrees they should be defunded. That idea is moronic.
When are you going to stop blaming the American presidents for your issues?
I just defended Trump. I just defended Trump.
No,
How
you
am I
seem to be blaming American presidents for whatever you got going on in your head.
No, I talk. Well,
No,
I
you said
talked
the guy
about
that was in
Biden-
power 3 or 4 months ago.
Clay, I use that in the context of Biden opened the borders. There's
Yeah,
more
so
illegal than
Biden
ever.
is
so
your,
ICE is
like,
necessary. ICE is
does he-
necessary.
Does he own real estate in your head? Yes. The answer
No,
is yes.
What are you
he
getting at?
opened the borders, so ICE is necessary. That's what
And
I
it
was
doesn't
talking
even
about.
affect you.
So can I not comment on American politics?
But no, it doesn't affect
I'd rather
you.
you didn't, but okay.
Can I not comment on American politics?
You're more than welcome to, but you keep blaming Biden or whatever president seems to suit your purpose for this issue.
I'll blame
It's
Biden,
not
I'll
just
blame
the
Trump, I'll blame
president.
some-
Listen, my friend. This is the problem that you're having. It's not just the president. It is also each one of these individual agents within these executive branches.
And I just said that.
You don't
If-
understand that.
if
You
an
keep blaming
agent-
Biden.
If an agent, no, I said that ICE is necessary because of Biden's policies. But if an agent breaks the law or violates somebody's human rights,
it's not
they
the
should be
policy.
held
Listen.
accountable.
Listen, my friend. Okay, the Constitution. When these officers are sworn in, they swear an oath to the Constitution, not to the president, Biden.
Okay, you're kind of harping on
Well, I mean,
semantics.
the president is chief executive, and the
I know
police
where you're
force
going.
is a branch of the executive office.
It's fair. You're
And
fair. I get it.
I'm just saying, dude, like the buck
You're
has to stop somewhere, and the top's a pretty good place to hang it.
I do agree, but the president is subject to the Constitution as well. So
Also, his examples of Biden doing whatever, opening the borders, as he puts it, is him changing one policy that Trump had, the Remain in Mexico policy, and also some quote that he allegedly said on the campaign trail. These are this is Biden open the
It's not
borders. This
alleged,
is his
he
strongest
did
evidence
say
of
it.
that. It's pathetic.
It's
dude.
not alleged, he did say it.
Did it result in more
YouTube
immigrant-
It's like 15 seconds.
Undocumented.
100%.
No, it resulted in
Right.
more asylum
How did-
seekers.
How did 10 million
Yeah, which is
illegals
different.
get
It's
through
what
the
they're
border?
talking about.
Interesting.
This entire conversation is about the asylum laws and how Trump's executive orders changed those, and then Biden undid them and just went back to what was legislated.
Funny.
So-
because I thought it was about whether or not we wanted ICE to be more succinct in their rounding up, not whatever.
What they were just talking about.
well, in all fairness, Effigy
May
did
I
say get
jump
rid of
in
ICE.
real quick?
Yeah, sure.
On this? I guess here's how I look at it when it comes to ICE. I think a lot of people have this misconception that the only thing that ICE does is enforcement of immigration and customs, right? That's actually a small portion of what they do. And there's a large portion of what ICE does that actually they're in the business of rescuing people who are trafficked, especially children.
And women.
And you can look up the percentages of the amount of human trafficking rings and child trafficking rings that ICE themselves have been in charge of busting up, along with the U.S. Marshal Service. So I know a lot of people have this idea of like abolishing ICE because they think the only thing ICE is doing is just rounding up brown people for no reason. And that's actually not the majority of what they do. Is it part of what they do? Yes. But a large majority is literally rescuing women and children who are trafficked for either labor, sex, whatever. And I don't think we should ever abolish something like that. I
think we
don't
should keep them
understand why
focused
you
on-
wouldn't be in favor
We
of.
should we should keep them focused on that instead of racially profiling and deporting people who have been here for like 15,
No,
20
because
years.
part
It's
of their
ridiculous.
job is also enforcement. It's enforcement of immigration and customs. So if you are unfortunately
Look.
here illegally, you have overstayed a visa, you never showed back up for court, you did not come through proper channels. That is
I
not
would-
our
my,
fault.
my problem with
not
ICE
the
and the
fault
reason
of
I
the
say get rid of
taxpayer.
it.
Jump
It's
in
not the
for
fault.
just a moment, if I may. Whoever's typing, stop. Backstage, I do have Joshua Stacy, and KJV hanging out backstage, waiting to join the panel. And you know what to do if you want them on. You got to boot someone else off. And Rowdy Gowdy, I don't know who you are, but you have to cam up backstage real quick for me. You can cam back down once you're done, but you can't. Oh, okay, got you. Thank you. You're good. So I will add to the list. Rowdy Gowdy is next in line. Joshua Stacy, then KJV, Saint for life, hanging out backstage. Jason also sends money on the Buy Me a Coffee app and said, let's charge Antifa like Ryan suggested. We just charged 5 with terrorism in Texas.
I'm not opposed to charging people with terroristic acts if they engage in them. But when you say charge Antifa, it sounds like you're talking about some sort of broad collective punishment type beat, and that I'm not going to get on board with, even though Republicans are obsessed with this sort of thing right now.
Obsessed with their boogeyman.
Like everybody.
It's because of what Antifa does.
So
I
my
agree. Not
curiosity
everybody-
about
What
this,
a post
I'm
fascist.
Antifa. I'm
this,
anti-fascist.
this argument from the ICE, and look, I don't want ICE to be gone because I do believe that they serve a purpose. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh yeah, you can.
Yeah.
Okay.
Continue.
Okay, so the purpose of ICE should fall in line with it being a federal agency. Have you ever asked yourself a question, this question particularly, why is local law enforcement not handling these human trafficking problems in their counties, in their cities, in their states? Why is it that federal government agents need to step in? And I'll answer that for you if you have never asked that question. It's because they themselves are involved, or they are complacent, or they are negligent. One of the three.
Or
Okay?
it's RICO, or it
It
might
was-
be because it falls under RICO purview.
And in places like Chicago, you've got a mayor openly saying that criminals shouldn't be arrested. So somebody
Wow.
needs to step in.
But regardless of the reason, why is it that federal agents are stepping in? It's because the local law enforcements, I put quotes around that, these peace officers are not doing their job. They're not upholding the people's rights. They're not honoring their oath. And so if it was the case that the people were doing their jobs in the states where they are, or in the state or in the counties or in the cities where they are, then these federal agents would not need to step in. So why is it that the people are not doing what they are required to do to protect their cities, their counties, their states? My question.
Tom Carpenter, how the hell have you been? You missed our fun show last night. I think you would have enjoyed it. He sends a big 20 and says, Miss Potts, shh, you're not in line with the zeitgeist. Also, how are you all? And Tom, is that a boot? Can you confirm in chat if that's a boot? I think that is. If it is Miss Potts, I just put you back in line backstage, and then I bring the next person up and just hang back in line. The panel does move fast.
Actually,
once
I gotta
people
go
start-
anyway.
Oh, okay. Well, that's fair. Fair enough.
Let
Did
me
you
make
want
a
to
comment
Nobody
quick,
has to
and
boot
I'll
Oh.
me. No, nobody
He
has to
did
boot
say-
anybody
he
or
did
anything. I gotta
confirm-
go.
Hold on. He did confirm that it was not a boot. But if you want to say your final words or anything before you head out, that's perfectly. The floor is yours, my darling.
Oh yeah, no. I just wanted to say I appreciate you always having me. Love being here. ICE, go harder. We're here for you. America, baby.
Merca, fuck
Babe.
yeah.
Nice
Well,
meeting
thanks
you,
for
Miss
stopping
Potts.
by tonight, Miss Potts. We appreciate you.
I want to say something about the
You know
topic.
I love Mama Tomato. I only come for Mama Tomato.
I told her, I said, more people like you than me, Mom. Fair
No.
enough.
Love you to death. You guys are awesome, though. Seriously, I love having a conversation. I know Ryan gets really upset. I don't know why, but it's just a conversation. But I
Yeah,
really hope
having empathy
everybody
for human
thinks about
beings
you
is,
know, the
He's an
fact that
SJW. SJWs get offended over everything.
I'm not
I just
offended
hope
by anything
everybody
here.
considers the
I just-
fact that, a lot of what ICE does is actually really good for us, and it's good for children, and it's good for women, and we should support that. And I know that from
I agree.
personal experience. So
We should
have a
support those
great night,
things and not the
everybody.
racial profiling.
Oh,
Also, I wanted to say something about. I looked up that court case you referenced earlier, Ryan. Supreme Court did issue an injunction against most of it. The only thing it applies to are the 8 original. What's the term for it? The 8 people named in the complaint that said that they were violated. That's all that ruling applies to now. Going forward, government basically can do what they were doing.
Wait, so you acknowledge that they were deporting people without
No,
due
I
process,
acknowledge that there's a court case and that
and the federal courts ruled that they did that, and then the Supreme Court upheld they did that, at least in some cases?
No, the Supreme Court effectively resolved the case in the government's favor for future actions, but it did not retroactively nullify the violation finding or remedies for the specific deportees. That's it.
No,
That's 8
for
people,
Kilmar,
Ryan.
it did. They were advised to bring him back, or at least try to.
They
Right?
did bring him back.
The difference was whether or not they like the wording of how they were supposed to, like, whether they could like explicitly like basically force El Salvador to bring him back, or whether they should like ask for him to come back. It was specific wording. I don't remember, but
I don't remember either. As I understand it, though,
Okay.
they did return him eventually.
fair enough.
yeah, after 3 months of pressure. Yeah, and also over that
And
period,
they shouldn't
Right.
have. He should still be
put
in
a
El
time
Salvador.
cap on that.
Clear.
Well, I mean, that's because you don't care about the Constitution or our laws. But
Oh,
in
I
reality,
do.
what
I
happened
care very
was
much about
that
it,
in
but
reality,
I-
what happened was over 3 months there was
I care
pressure,
about
and Trump multiple
Americans,
times,
not
and Trump
people
multiple
worldwide.
times said that he could bring Kilmar back, but he said he wasn't going to do it. So
and he shouldn't have.
Important
On
disagrees
that
with you.
note, Jason says, if Ryan and Effigy were net positive taxpayers, they'd understand why people want the illegals gone, and you are both welcome to respond to that.
I don't think anyone mistakes someone trying to dick measure with money with being a good person.
I love it when people dick measure with money. Ryan, did you want
I
to
mean,
respond?
it's just a brain dead take. I mean, what am I supposed to say to it?
Fair enough.
Sounds like something
All right.
a poor would say.
All right, let's shift it over a little bit. Let's go hard or go home. Is President Trump Islamophobic?
We should all be Islamophobic.
Wait, are we going to go around and everyone says?
Oh, yes. Thank you, Ryan. I totally was like waiting for me, myself, and I to redirect the panel. Ant, yes or no?
No, I was being hyperbolic, but I'll explain my position more thoroughly.
Fair enough. Clay, yes or no?
I don't know.
Caucasian? Caucasian's taking a shit. Fight?
No, he's just realistic.
Effigy?
No, actually, I don't think he's one enough of a Christian or to care enough about ideology. I think he's a grifter through and through, and all he cares about is money. And those Saudi Arabian people got money.
Ryan?
Yeah, there's something to what Effigy's saying, but also he did declare he was going to put in a Muslim ban. He asked Rudy Giuliani how to do it legally, and then he tried to do it legally until the Supreme Court turned it down. So yeah, of course.
Obstacles? Oh, you are
muted.
muted, sir. I'm sorry. I thought I was waiting for you still.
He's on a phone call.
Oh, we'll pass. Reese, yes or no?
No, I think Trump is the new Jesus.
Oh boy, you just had to go there.
Yep. Right.
put 'em
Rowdy,
on a cross,
yes.
right?
Rowdy, yes or no?
No, but just for fun, can you say exactly what the question is again?
Oh, sure. Is President Trump Islamophobic?
Okay, then no.
Okay. All right. Go.
So my first question to anyone who said no is: did Donald Trump not declare that he wanted to ban all Muslim immigrants from entering the country until they figured out what the hell was going on, quote unquote? Did that not happen?
Is this the first term you're talking about?
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Oh, you're talking about the list
no,
of
he
7
was-
nations that
he was-
Obama
No, we
suggested?
haven't got there.
Wait,
We haven't
can I-
got God's favorite
wait,
ant.
can I-
Yeah.
Well,
Go fight for it.
I'll just quickly answer. No, because that was a list of countries that were on the terrorist watch list.
Okay, so
Also, one of
just
those
before
countries
we-
is North Korea. Is North Korea a Muslim nation, Ryan?
Exactly.
So
North
you guys,
Korea as well.
so to be clear, first of all, you guys are jumping ahead. You guys are jumping ahead to the actual ban. What the question I asked was not, did Trump do a Muslim ban? What I asked was, did Trump say that he was trying to ban Muslims until they figure out what was going on? Did that not happen?
Where do you'll have to refresh my memory on that
No,
one.
There's
he was
video of him.
talking-
Well, I can tell you. I'll answer the question then. Yes, he did say. He said Donald Trump is calling for an all-out ban on Muslims entering the country until he can figure out what the hell is going on. These are his exact words. There's video of it. Just watched it the other day, actually.
I think that's sensible considering the extremists we get from some of the African and Middle Eastern countries.
It was
We have
specifically
one saying Islamophobia is justified.
All right. Ryan, I'll give you two examples. He didn't mention countries like Egypt. He also wasn't talking about all Muslim countries. He was talking about countries that had a radical jihad problem, because at the time he took office the first time, there was more Islamic terrorism going on than ever, mostly because Obama was funding ISIS. And as soon as Trump put a stop to that, radical jihad, it didn't go away, but it
Fuck out of here,
got
man.
reduced.
Come on.
Okay,
should we have another
so
1,500 Americans
to the-
die because you're squeamish about enforcing,
since
being.
since we're moving on to the actual ban, we can talk about that, right? So what actually happened is that Trump did ask Rudy Giuliani how he could do a Muslim ban legally after he announced that he was going to do that, and Rudy Giuliani pointed to this list of countries from the Obama era that you guys are talking about now, and he said this is one way we could do something like a Muslim ban. We can't just ban Muslims because that would obviously be unconstitutional. And in reality, the ban he did do on those 7 countries did end up being unconstitutional, and the Supreme Court struck it down after a week. So that's what actually
What
happened.
part of the
And
Constitution
James
says we have to
sends-
receive anyone?
And James sends in the Big Ten to say, since Ryan and his communist friends are already threatening ICE agents with prosecution if they take power back, Trump should just preemptory pardon them all.
Wow.
Since I was mentioned here, let me respond first. So
He's going to anyway.
What I literally said was that they should get trials, and if they broke laws, they should be convicted for breaking those laws. If you have a problem with them being convicted for crimes that they actually did, and you want to pardon them for that, well, I mean, I think it's just a self-report, right?
Anyone
Also,
else
you
have a
can't
thought to add
pardon
to that?
state
Ban?
crimes.
Did he actually say that? Muslim ban?
He said, I'm calling for an all-out ban on Muslims entering the country.
Muslims?
Yes, those are his words, yes.
I'd like to see that.
Okay, I'll find the clip in the back. Yeah, hang on.
No, I do vaguely remember him saying that, just so you know. I do.
Oh,
And I don't even follow this kind of stuff
that's
hardly.
a little crazy. I've heard Trump say some crazy stuff, but that's out there.
Yeah. I vaguely remember him saying something like that, though.
Because what happens
Just sit in the
often
back.
is when you get a clip of Donald Trump and it sounds like he's saying something bad, they'll remove all of the context that led up to the actual statement he made, and literally by default they'd be telling a lie. And they've done this literally hundreds of times, and that should make you wonder why. What's their motive to do that? I think I know what it is.
I think he just actually says dumb shit all the time. Actually,
hold on.
It's the internet age, man. You can get the full context anytime you want.
Hold up.
Go ahead, Reese.
The reason why he ran in the first place. Donald Trump ran for
To get richer.
office to take child sex trafficking to war across the earth, and that was the only reason. All that other shit came with the job. Everybody
How's that
overlooked that in his inaugural speech. They paid attention to all the bullshit and fluff, but what the main reason was to combat child sex trafficking all over the earth. Long list of people who never did that: Jesus Christ, Prophet Muhammad, the Dalai Lama, Malcolm X. Nobody ever gave a fuck about the kids. First man ever lived. They cared about the children of the world. That's another reason why ICE shouldn't go anywhere. If ICE,
First man that ever lived.
watch this.
All right.
If ICE is saving children and women from trafficking.
no, they're not.
Right? Yes, they are. Yes, they are. If they're saving women and children from trafficking, anything else attached to that does not matter. That's a sacrifice that we make for the children because they come first, the children of the world. All those other arguments the adults are having are selfish. And what could be more evil than this? For the Democrats to put together a plot for the sole reason to have child sex trafficking and women trafficked and hide that under the umbrella of, what do they call that shit? Asylum? How evil is that?
What the fuck are you talking about?
To hide the real reason. Because everyone knew before any of them were in office that most of the child trafficking done in the world is done through the Mexican border. Everyone knew that, but you didn't know the wall. What?
I just want all of MAGA to recognize that this is what you sound like all the time.
It doesn't matter. The children are the only thing that matters.
No.
Speaking of children that matter, Jason sends the 20 and he wants me to split it between Effigy and Ryan. Who's yelling in the background? Calm your children down.
Pathetic as usual, but it is what it is. I'll see you guys in 10 minutes then.
See you in just a bit. We do have a full house backstage, so Ryan and Effigy are going to hang back in line, and I'm going to bring the next.
I just want to hang out for a little while.
Do you want to say your final goodbyes?
No,
you don't have to go anywhere. That's part of the. You're ruining the grift. If you hold the seat.
Grift harder.
All right, and backstage, I do still have Trippy Cast, Kate. Wait, who was up next? Kate, Fatty, you are not up next. KJV is up next. My apologies, the line got mixed up. I do still have backstage Uncle Fatty and Trippy, so send your love in for them. And Tom says, what is the level of action or word that reaches the level of phobic for any category? Hint, the things labeled as such almost never do. It is hijacked term from psychology used as pejorative.
Well, it depends on context. Like what Trump recently said about Somalians, he was saying it specifically about Somalians, whether they're Muslim, whether they're Christian, etc., etc. So to say is he Islamophobic? He's wary of Islam, but he's not constantly saying, "Oh, screw Islam, screw any Muslim." So, and Trump is the kind of guy who would have no problem saying that. So he's not saying all Muslims are terrorists. So he's not Islamophobic.
I challenge that being Islamophobic is a rational reaction.
Well, then it's not a phobia.
To some of the more extreme Islamists.
The part that gets left off of phobias most often is the irrational fear or disgust of something. If you have rationalizations for why you don't like something, then it's not a phobia.
All right, you got me.
And allow me to we're going to take a moment. I got to put everyone backstage for just a second, except for Ryan. I need you up on stage, sir. You have to fight for your life, Ryan. Okay. Jason has sent not one, but $200 for the full boot. Mm-hmm. So you have to plea to the audience to buy you back. He says, "Bye, Ryan. I love upsetting broke liberals who are jealous of success." Now, I will give you the floor, and I will give you a full 4 minutes if you need it to plea your case and beg them to keep you back on, because that's pretty steep for a boot this early. So you take all the time you need, and I will go backstage myself and give you the floor.
Yeah, so I'm not going to plead shit. Eat my ass, fucking loser. You just don't want to hear me argue against the dumb things you want to say. You want a circle jerk. Very common here. Happens all the time. I don't know. Enjoy the circle jerk. Fucking pathetic loser shit, but whatever. I'm not gonna get on my knees and suck your dick for it. I'm just gonna bounce. So thanks for having me, Sarah. Thanks for having me, everyone. And I'm gonna end it on my channel.
Ryan, that came fast. I really thought we were finally on the verge of like keeping you on longer. I thought we were there.
I mean, no, people still get triggered. It is what it is. But I'll see you guys next time.
We will see you next time, Ryan. Thank you. Ryan's going to get a very fat Christmas gift from me, by the way, if you don't already know. Oh, Effigy was backstage. Let's see.
Sarah, was that a Cash App donation?
It was Buy Me a Coffee app. Oh, wait. I had KG. Okay. And Trippy Cast is next in line backstage. Let's see. Okay. My apologies for the interruption. But people pay. They get their moment to shine. And I feel bad for Ryan sometimes.
Why?
Well, I mean,
he does it to himself.
No, because he could come in about 30% less hot and get a lot further. And that's the thing. Ryan knows. And look,
agreed.
Young buck, all full of the hormones, needs to prove he's a big, fine, cool. but I think people would hang with him longer.
Oh,
It
I
comes
see
where-
where
Yeah.
I see where it
Very
went here.
antagonistic.
Hold on. Here's where it went wrong. I would have kept him until he insulted me. Okay. I get it. But you know what? I
don't
I
believe
l-
that, Jason.
well no, because this does hold true, because every time that Ryan directly goes at Jason, like the boot comes shortly after. But I like Ryan because he's total opposition for the show, and like he keeps it fiery. Even though you say he can come down 30%, I still like his heat and I like what he has to offer to the show. So, you know,
I mean,
I love.
I think you should
well,
turn
and
it
I
up a
say
little
this.
bit.
Here's what I say. Ryan has been here with me since before this show was a show, and he's stuck by my side since the get-go. He's been fully supportive, and even like the first set of, you know, like he's just always been here. And so I have a heart for him, even though you guys all hate him for what he stands for. And
I
yada,
don't
yada,
hate
yada.
him. I don't
Or
have hate for a single person
disagree.
I've discussed anything with here.
Yeah, it's not
But-
hate.
I guess
find
it's
them
just when you
very
have
prickly.
somebody when somebody has radical opinions, which again, it was not an exaggeration. Last time I was on, he supported every Marxist policy he could think of, and then tries to say it's not a problem. It's like you're not living in reality. He's like,
Is this like reverse
another
cope?
destiny.
I still love
I'm
Ryan.
just-
He will be getting a fat Christmas gift from me. Tom
I like
says
Ryan because
people don't get triggered by the ideas espoused outside of context. It is the context of always being told the opposing ideas are idiotic, stupid, lacking empathy. Anyone have thoughts to add to that?
No problem at all to say that ICE needs to follow the rules. That should be with anybody. That should be the same with police. But defunding them is